So I'm a kid in the candy store, put the leather on the denim. I ain't the cure, I'm the venom. If you wanna find me, find the taillight. Something's coming in, you're gonna wanna take a red eye. It's time to go. It's time to go. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink.
Get ready! Yes, you are at the Maestro, and this is Paglinawan. Alam niyo po, pagka kami gumagawa ng programang television katulad nito at nagsusulat sa mga column o mga position paper, kami po ay nagre-research, no? At hindi lamang sa internet, hindi lamang sa mga libro na katulad nitong nasa tabi ko ngayon, itong Wars of the 20th Century. Kasi po, papasok tayo sa 19th century pa sa mga diskurso natin ngayong araw na ito. At hindi po tayo nag-shoot from our hips, no? Hindi rin po tayo umaasa sa mga attainments natin at mga social status natin sa lipunan, no? Hindi dahil senador, hindi dahil presidente, no? Hindi dahil congressman, hindi dahil hurado, ay bibitawan na natin ang mga sinasabi nila at sa kadahilanan ng kanilang estado sa lipunan ay maniniwala na tayo sa kanila. And so, recently, a blog by an ABS-CBN dropout, Christian Esguerra. Napansin ko itong blog na ito ay heavily boosted, no? Malaking pera ang pumapasok sa likod nitong blog na ito ni Christian Esguerra. It seems ay nag-issue po ng fact-checking sa South China Sea issues, interviewing former Associate Justice Antonio Carpio. At ang katawa-tawa po dito ay ang titulo ng blog at programa ni Christian Esguerra was Facts First. Unang-una, katotohanan. Yon ang translation sa Tagalog. Pero, as I have been expecting every time Carpio faces the TV screen, Carpio lied to his teeth. Carpio lied to his teeth. Uulitin ko. The former magistrate, no? Struck references from 4 international treatises outlining the return of the Spratlys and the parcels by Japan to China, but deliberately twisted reading the facts. Kaya po, ang titulo ko dito sa episode 111, which we are showing right now, is Teaching the Lawyers the Law and Educating the So-Called Experts. Mga kabansa. Ito po yung interview. Ito po yung screenshot ng interview ni retired magistrate Carpio sa blog at podcast ni Christian Esguerra. And what we will do today is fact-check the fact-checkers. Ayan po yung mga nakalinyang video sa kanan at isa-isahin natin yan at paliliwanag ko sa inyo kung bakit ang mga sinasabi ni Carpio dyan ay mga pawang kabalintunan, kasinungalingan, kalokohan, panluloko sa sambayanang Pilipino. Uunahan ko na kayo mga kabansa. Dito sa programang ito, hindi tayo pro-China, hindi tayo pro-US. At kung minsan hindi tayo pro-Pilipino, ito pong programang ito is only sa katotohanan lamang. We are pro the truth. And with all due respects, and I don't care who gets hurt by the truth, we will expose you. Ha? Dito sa video ito, ayan, pinakikita dyan sa bandang kanan, ang Deputy Chief of Mission ng China to the Philippines na gumawa ng isang statement sa Pandesal Forum at pinack-check din ni Carpio yung aking article last June 8 at the Pandesal Forum, which was published at the Asian Century PH.com. No, mga kabansa. Commenting on 4 international documents, sabi ko nga kanina, involving the wars between China and Japan. Bigyan natin ng konting background ng ating sinaliksik para sa araw na ito. Ang importante po, konteksto nito ay ang mga gera na pinasok ng Japan at China. Alam po ninyo, the first Sino meaning China, Japanese war that began in July 25, 1894, 19th century pa ho ito, no? Was a conflict between the Qing dynasty of China and the Empire of Japan, primarily over influence in Joseon. Yan pong Joseon na yan, ang Korea ngayon. On April 7, 1895, the first Sino-Japanese War came to an end. So yung first Sino-Japanese War was from 1894 to 1895. At ito'y natapos when under the rule of the Qing dynasty, Japan defeated China. Yes, Japan defeated China. Alam niyo po, ang Japan was the first to modernize, to adopt Western technology in warfare among the Asian nations. Kaya naging matulis sila at very effective in warfare. They were the first, in fact, to use rifles. No? Okay. Forcing China to submit to the Treaty of Shimonoseki to recognize the full and complete independence of Korea and to cede to Japan, isuko sa Japan, its territories, including the Liaodong Peninsula in Manchuria, Formosa, which we now know as Taiwan, and the Pescadores Islands, which the Chinese called Penghu, an archipelago of 90 islands and islets in the Taiwan Strait. Importante pong mabanggit natin this early itong tatlong lugar na ito, Manchuria, Formosa, at Pescadores. Dahil isinuko po ito, ikinonsid ito ng China sa Japan sa Treaty of Shimonoseki, ending the first Sino-Japanese War. However, sumiklab ang second Sino-Japanese War noong ang Marco Polo Bridge ay nagkaroon ng incident on July 1937 na po ito. No? So more than from 95 to 37, how many years was that? 8. About 50 years, no? No? Almost 50 years. A battle between the Republic of China's National Revolutionary Army and the Japanese Imperial Army, marking a full Japanese invasion of China. full Japanese invasion of China. So hindi lamang po sa Manchuria, hindi lamang po sa Formosa, hindi lamang po sa Pescadores. And on September 1937, after claiming exclusive rights over South China Sea archipelagos, Japan occupied the Pratas Islands. The Japanese Imperial Navy landed on the Spratlys on December 1938, took Hainan Island the following February, and landed on the Paracels on April 4, 1939. Mga kabansa, sinasadya kong iharap sa inyo ang tekstong aking binabasa para walang denial tayo later on. Na hindi ko naman sinabi yun. Hindi ho. Sigurado ho ako sa mga facts na ito, kaya yan ay inihaharap ko sa inyo at yan din ang binabasa ko. Hindi ko babaliktaran itong mga sinasabi ko. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, nagkaroon na therefore ng dalawang gera ang China at Japan. Pangatlo na, in fact, itong World War II in the Pacific that started on December 8, 1941. China joined the Allied forces against Imperial Japan. So we established here that Japan, even before World War II, already occupied the Spratlys and the Paracels and certain features in the South China Seas that have been named. Tuloy natin ang ating kwentuhan. In the Cairo Declaration of 1943, hindi pa tapos ang World War II, nag-meeting si Roosevelt, si Chiang Kai-shek, at si Winston Churchill sa Cairo, Egypt, to discuss the progress of the war against Japan and the future of Asia. Ito po ang pertinent text of the document. The three great allies are fighting this war to restrain and punish the aggression of Japan. Quote po ito ha, this is a direct quotation from the Cairo Declaration. It is their purpose that Japan be stripped of all the islands in the Pacific which she has seized or occupied since the beginning of the First World War in 1914, and that all territories Japan has stolen from the Chinese, such as yung binanggit natin kanina na isinuko ng China sa Japan in the first Sino-Japanese War, Manchuria, Formosa, the Pescadores, shall be restored to the Republic of China. Japan will also be expelled from all other territories which she has taken by violence and greed. And that aforesaid three great powers, mindful of the enslavement of the people of Korea, are determined that in due course, Korea shall finally become free and independent. With these objects, ito po ang objective. No? This sets the tone of our entire discussion today. The three allies, in harmony with those of the United Nations at war with Japan, will continue to persevere in the serious and prolonged operations necessary to procure the unconditional surrender of Japan. Okay, having said that, i-play natin ang unang video.
Ano ba yung sa tingin niya yung pinaka glaring na nakikita nyo recently?
Well, recently, sabi ng Deputy Chief of Mission ng China, nagkaroon sila ng press conference dun sa Pandesal Forum sa Kamuning, Quezon City. Sabi niya, yung Cairo Declaration at saka yung Potsdam Declaration during the war, the Second World War, awarded the Spratlys and the Paracels to China. Sabi niya, yung Cairo Declaration, in-award raw. Pero if you go to the Cairo Declaration, there is no award to China. Ang sinabi ng Cairo Declaration, yung Manchuria, Formosa, at saka may isa pa, Manchuria, Formosa, at saka Pescadores. No, Pescadores, isla yan, mga islands yan malapit sa Taiwan. Ibabalik, i-restore sa China. Yung all other territories that Japan seized by violence and greed the Japanese will be expelled from these territories. Period. Walang sinabi na those other territories will be handed over to China. So, klarong-klaro, yung Spratlys at saka yung Paracels will fall under that second category na all other territories seized by Japan, by violence and greed, Japan will be deprived of these territories. Japan will be expelled. So yung Cairo Declaration, very clear yan. And that's the understanding of everybody. Yung Potsdam Declaration naman, merely reiterated the Cairo Declaration. Wala namang mention doon ng Paracels Spratlys. Sinabi lang, the Cairo Declaration will be implemented.
Well, at this point, I noticed that Carpio was lying, and it might even be an understatement. He was deliberately twisting the facts. Bumalik tayo sa Cairo Declaration. Basahin natin. Okay? Ayan na yung portion. Ito ho yung nakalagay. Sabi niya, wala namang pinasusoli sa China. Ito ho yung quotation. That all territories Japan has stolen from the Chinese, such as Manchuria, Formosa, and the Pescadores, shall be restored to the Republic of China. Hindi naman daw na-mention ang Spratlys at Paracels. Klarong-klaro, all the territories. All the territories. At saka, ginawa lamang example ang Manchuria, Formosa at Pescadores. Shall be restored to the Republic of China. Okay? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng such as? Such as is a phrase that combines the demonstrative pronoun such and the modifier or conjunction as. When put together, such as is used to provide examples or to clarify one's statement. So, ang pinasosoli lang daw, ang sabi ni Carpio, ay itong Manchuria, Formosa at Pescadores. What about yung preceding phrase that all the territories Japan has stolen from the Chinese? We agree that Spratlys and Paracels were not mentioned particularly in the Cairo Conference. And we agree na wala naman talagang sulian pa dyan. No? Because this was in 1943. May gera pa. Yan po ang konteksto dyan. Wala naman pong award dyan. Sino mag-award dyan? Hawak pa ng Japan yung territory. Oh. So we agree with you. There was no award. Why? Because hindi pa tapos ang gera. Hawak pa ng Japan ang mga territories na sinasabi natin. And all the territories, lahat, include Spratlys and the paracels. No? Tuloy natin ang pero bago pala yung tuloy, itong Potsdam Declaration, we also agree that it was a mere reiteration of the Cairo language. In terms of the Cairo Declaration, the terms of the Cairo Declaration shall be carried out. And one of those terms, shall yan, no? Kasi hindi pa rin tapos ang gera sa Potsdam. Wala pang pagsuko ang Japan. Ano yan? All the territories that Japan took from China shall be restored to the Republic of China. Ituloy natin sa second tape ang kabalintunan na kinakala ni Carpio.
Tapos, yung sa San Francisco Conference, 1951, ito yung peace treaty that ended the Pacific War. Ang daming all nations involved in World War II represented there, no? Except China, because may civil war sa China at that time, no? So the China was under the Republic of China under the Kuomintang Party. The rebels were the communists. So there was a civil war. So they were not represented. But yung Russia, yung USSR, yung ally ng China, made a motion that the Spratlys and the Paracels be awarded to China. Nagbotohan 46 to ang botohan doon
46
46 to 3. 46
abstentions.
against the award, 3 for the award, and 1 abstention. So klaro, overwhelmingly, the motion was defeated. Kaya yung simple lang yung peace conference of San Francisco, sinabi, Japan renounces all claim to the Spratlys and the Paracels. Period. Walang sinabi kung kanino ibibigay yung Spratlys or the Paracels. So, tsaka yung treaty between China and the Republic, between Japan and the Republic of China under the Kuomintang. Taipei na ito, sa Taipei na sila, 1952. Sinabi lang doon, the San Francisco Treaty on the renunciation of the territories by Japan and other issues are reiterated. We recognize Section 2 of the San Francisco Treaty. So there is no award of the Spratlys or Paracels to China, but China continues to give this disinformation. Now, if you don't fact check, talagang maniniwala ka kasi they say it with a straight face.
Okay, let's go to the Treaty of San Francisco. Carpio also alleged that this treaty did not mention the Spratlys and the Paracels being returned to China. But the fact that there was no mention is not true, because in Article 2, Section F, Japan renounces all rights and title to the Spratly Islands and to the Paracel Islands. Note that just as World War II was coming to a close, there existed still a civil war in China. Because of that, no Chinese representation was present in San Francisco. Tama po siya. Why? Because of the Civil War. Both the Republic of China and the People's Republic of China were disinvited, mga kabansa. So, sino ba ang mag-a-award? Was it the Cairo Conference? Was it the Potsdam Convention? Was it the Treaty of San Francisco? Sino ba ang magsusoli? Kung sino magsusoli, siya mag-award. Hindi po ba? When China, however, could not receive What China, however, could not receive in San Francisco, it did accept less than a year later in Taipei, the surrender of Japan. Not just in World War II that started in 1941, ladies and gentlemen, but in the Second Sino-Japanese War that started earlier in 1937. Kaya this is beyond the poder of the Treaty of San Francisco, because this does not just involve a single war. As we have earlier provided a background, the First Sino-Japanese War, China was already losing territories to Japan. Nag-occupy pa sila ng Japan even before World War II, including Spratlys and the Paracels ng territory in the Second Sino-Japanese War. And then finally, 1941, pumasok ang World War II. Article 1 of the Treaty of Taipei. And this is why it is important to understand that there was a restoration made. I read, the state of war between the Republic of China and Japan is terminated. Lahat ng gera, yung Second Sino-Japanese War at yung World War II ay natatapos na as from the date on which the present treaty, and this is the Treaty of Taipei, enters into force. Ayan, mga kabansa. Article 2, it is recognized that under Article 2 of the Treaty of Peace, which Japan signed in the city of San Francisco on September 8, 1951, Japan has renounced all right, title, and claim to Taiwan, Formosa, Penghu, and Pescadores, as well as the Spratly Islands and the Paracel Islands. Tuloy natin ang explanation. Clarification number 1. Carpio asserts that what was renounced in San Francisco cannot be included in Taipei, implying that Japan had already nulled itself. Meron pa siya sinabing butuhan doon, as if it were under the initiative of Russia or under the instance of the Treaty of San Francisco. And it was the Convention of San Francisco itself that will return the territories and award it to China. Of course not. The territories were still in Japan was still in possession of the territories, and that's why precisely they are renouncing whatever they have on these territories. Again, the retired magistrate is resorting to semantics. The meaning of renounce is to give up, refuse, resign, usually by formal declaration. So saan pupunta yan? The direction of that renunciation will go to where Cairo and Potsdam already ruled that the subject of this renunciation be returned to China. So to whom were all the territories stolen from China returned in the Treaty of San Francisco? Wala! Nobody! Why? Wala nga doon ng China eh. They were disinvited. They could not receive the transfer of territories from it by Japan in San Francisco because neither PRC or ROC was present. So, saan ito na-effect? This flow of renunciation and restoration, saan na perfect? In the Treaty of Taipei, the territories were returned to China. A renunciation must first be made before a transfer can be perfected. Not only that, it is equally significant, babalik tayo sa history, that in the Treaty of Taipei, an Article 4 was included recognizing that all treaties, agreements concluded before 9 December 1941 between Japan and China have become null and void as a consequence of war. Bakit? Kasi kung hindi ito ilalagay, hindi masasama dito ang Manchuria, Pescadores, at Formosa, which were subject of the First Sino-Japanese War, na kinonsid ng China to Japan as a result of its first loss, and this transfer was perfected in the Treaty of Shimonoseki. So kailangan burahin yun. Both China and Japan had to first zero-base the relations in order to start with the next lane. What territories China lost to Japan in 2 wars, therefore? The first Sino-Japanese and the Japanese total invasion of 1941 and a treaty. No? Yung nawala sa kanila nung First Sino-Japanese War and Second Sino-Japanese War at saka yung 1941 at saka because of a treaty were restored back to China through its victory with the Allied forces in World War II and the treaty that finally ended it, the Treaty of Taipei. Otherwise, kung hindi ito na perfect mga kabansa, Japan and China will still be in a state of war as of today. This is significant, no? Because of that consideration. Kung walang return, tuloy pa ang gera. Clarification number 3. No? Merong clarification ditong hinihingi si Carpio. Let's play this part. 702.
Sasabihin nila, oy, na-award na sa amin yan ng Cairo Declaration, ng Potsdam Declaration, ng San Francisco Peace Treaty. And, you know, yung San Francisco Treaty, the People's Republic of China denounced it as illegal. How can they claim rights under a treaty that they even declared as illegal? Later, at that time, when it was going on, they declared it is illegal. Kasi hindi sila nakaparticipate eh. Ngayon, sinasabi nila, oh, inaward sa amin yan. You see the inconsistency of all this. But lahat ito can be exposed as fake, disinformation. All we have to do is to fact check eh.
Disinformation, my ass. All you have to do is fact check. Well, fact check. Why did the People's Republic of China declare as illegal the Treaty of Taipei? Why did the Communist Party ruling the People's Republic of China objected to the Treaty of Taipei? The Chinese Civil War was fought between the Kuomintang-led government of the Republic of China and the People's Republic of China under the Chinese Communist Party, with armed conflict continuing intermittently from August 1, 1927 until December 7, 1949. Ginawa ko pong pula yung 1949 because it's important. And ending with PRC's control of the mainland China as the Republic of China relocated to the island of Taiwan. Ano ibig sabihin niya? Natalo po ang ROC ng 1949. The objection of PRC to the Treaty of Taipei when it was being conducted was because the Treaty of Taipei was being held in 1952, sila na may control ng majority ng China, the mainland China and most of the territories of China. Pero, meron bang legitimization pa yun noon panahon na yun? When obviously the much larger territorial population of China was already under the People's of China? Hindi pwedeng i-invalidate o declared illegal ng PRC yon. Why? Since Chiang Kai-shek's ROC still enjoyed the representation in the United Nations and the affirmation of its members. Ang tayo po ninyo sa Community of Nations must also be there to back you up. Which brings us to the nexus to the legitimacy of the People's Republic of China. The UN General Assembly Resolution 5728. But when the UN General Assembly passed this resolution on 25 October 1971, the United Nations finally recognized, ayan. So before 1971, wala pa pong K. Wala pa pong K sa international community ang PRC. Despite the fact, wala pa siyang de jure recognition by the Community of Nations. But in 1971 October, he finally recognized the People's Republic of China as, quote, the only legitimate representative of China, removing the representative of Chiang Kai-shek, referring to the Republic of China. And under this one China policy, all rights, titles, and claims erstwhile belonging to the Republic of China accrued to the People's Republic of China as successor in interest, including Taiwan becoming its province. Ayan, mga kabansa. Let us play 806.
In fact, some Filipinos, I know of one Filipino belonging to the Kamuning Pandesal Forum, wrote an article na, oy, sa China yan, because under the Treaty of Taipei, binigay yan sa China, the Spratlys and the Paras. Filipino ito, writing that the Treaty of Taipei awarded the Spratlys and the Paracels. How can dalawang parties lang doon sa Treaty of Taipei, Japan and China, Republic of China. How can Japan award it na pumirma na siya renouncing? In 1951, Japan renounced all title and claim to the Spratlys and Paracel. 1952, nagka-treaty ang Japan with Taiwan. Sinabi ng treaty, we recognize the San Francisco disposition of all these territories. So how can Japan now, how can they say that Japan awarded the Spratlys and the Paracels to China when 1 year before that Japan already renounced all claims? And in fact, the treaty itself, Treaty of Taipei, said we recognize the San Francisco Treaty. Talagang they twist everything. Now, if you don't fact check, talagang you will be misled, no?
Bakit hindi mo pa sabihin, Antonio Carpio, na ako yung pinatatamaan mo? You accuse me of twisting the facts? Yung application mo ng batas, no? Hindi ko alam kung saan nanggagaling yan. Obviously, it is in enforcement of constitutional law. But listen to this. Ito ba kinuha mo sa eskwela? Kasi alam ko naman, katulad nung kanina, yung distinction sa such as, at saka yung sa punto sa all territories. Pag sinabing all, kasama ang Spratlys at saka Paracel. No? Such as, example lang yun. Hindi ibig sabihin na pag sinabing such as, yung tatlo lang yun ang sinuli. Naintindihan mo ba ako? Pero hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit ginagawa mo ito. Kilala kita college pa tayo Nung ako'y president ng College Editors Guild, staffer ka ng tagay doon ng Ateneo. At alam ko marunong ka magsulat. At bago ka magsulat, marunong ka dapat magbasa. Pero bakit ganyan ang interpretasyon mo? At kumuha ka pa ng 4 years of law. Bakit iba ang pag-intindi mo ng mga sitwasyong ito? Ang unang prinsipyo 101 na ibibigay ko sa iyo ngayon ay narito. The principle of causality. Causality. Sa history, at lalo na sa international law, hindi ka pwedeng mag-cherry pick. Mamimili ka lang kung anong gusto mo at yung bubuuin mo at gagawa ka ng sarili mong realidad. Hindi pwede yun. Lahat ng events sa history, hindi lamang yung mga immediate, but especially yung mga underlying causes and effects are interconnected. Interconnected. As such, Cairo was connected with Potsdam, connected with San Francisco, and connected with the Treaty of Taipei. Under the principle of causa causae, causa causati. The cause of the cause is the cause of the final effect. O di kaya mas maswerte ako dahil lang naging professor ko ng philosophy at pre-law sa San Beda ay isang Jesuita na tumiwalag sa Jesuit ng mga Ateneo. At si Professor, babanggitin ko ang pangalan because I honor him, I respect him, and that is why I think straight. Professor Ricardo Enriquez. Alright? Play 1006.
Ngayon, na-expose na sila. But before the arbitration, remember, before the arbitration, sabi nila, we are an old civilization. So we own the South China Sea 2,000 years ago pa. So when I saw articles sa US, sa Europe, sabi nila, China is an old civilization. Siguro totoo kanila yon since 2,000 years ago. Because they were not told the actual facts. So maraming naniniwala at that time, I've been talking to them and they said China is an old civilization. So, but when we submitted all the documents to the arbitral tribunal, sinabi ng arbitral tribunal, there is no basis. There is no historical basis for that. Talagang wala naman eh. At that 2,000 years ago, China didn't even care about the Spratlys or the Paracels.
This is where you committed a classic error and serious prevarication, Justice Carpio. When you said the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruled that China has no historical basis over its claim to the South China Sea. That's in minute 1045 and 1051 of Esguerra's blog. Sinasabi mo yan. Sinasabi mo yan. Kasi finally, nakukorek ka na may historical basis sila. At sinight mo pa yung arbitral ruling na pader sa likod mo. Well, read the transcript. Binasa mo ba ang arbitral ruling? Justice Carpio, in paragraph 272, page 115 reads, the tribunal emphasizes that nothing in this award should be understood to comment in any way on China's historic claim to the islands of the South China Sea. Ano yung sinasabi mo that the arbitral ruling said na walang historical basis ang claims ng China? Ayan, kakaririnig lang ninyo mga kabansa. Sinabi niya, in minute 1045 and 1051, China has no historical basis. Ano yung pinag-uusapan natin dito? My goodness! Tapos, you resort to personalities? You resort to attacks character assassination? Let's play 13-15.
Sorry, Justice, napakaganda nung sinasabi niyo, no? We win them over with the facts, with sound arguments. Pero kasi in this day and age of disinformation, parang baka sabihin ng iba, hindi yan sapat, no? And in some cases, baka naive pa. Kasi nga, kung talagang alam mong mali, pero ipapakalat mo pa, baka naman iba na yung dahilan. Baka naman nagkakabayaran na. That's what I want to talk about. Kasi nga, we have to do some reality check here po.
Well, we all know that trolls don't exist for nothing, no? Yung mga lahat na trolls yan, they're paid. I mean, we know that. And they're paid very well, no? There have been articles about that. There are troll farms in China, there are troll farms in Russia, and in other places, no? Even in the Philippines. Alam natin yan. That's why we have to fight disinformation with facts. And we have to cite really, we have to do research really. Unfortunately, they are paid, so they do it regularly. They have all the time to do it. Tayo, we do it on our own because of love of country, or we love the truth, no?
Love of country, love of the truth. Isgera, sino ang nagbabayad ng mga manunulat at mamamahayag? Sino? Who employs trolls? Eto, anunsyo ng US-Philippine Alliance. Basahin natin, mga kabansa. Can the US-Philippine Alliance be more relevant in advancing a free, open, and more rules-based Indo-Pacific? Right for us, US $1,000, abstracts due on July 4th, open to Americans and Filipinos within the ages of 22 and 35. Interested in writing a policy, academic paper about any of the following themes? Tingnan niyo po ang mga subjects, mga kabansa. Disinformation as a security threat. Advancing a stable and rules-based maritime order in the region. Contribution of the US-Philippine Alliance. Almost 60,000 pesos per article. So kung kayo susulat ng 2 paper in a week, 120 a week times 4. Times 4, 480,000 ang kikitahin nyo sa isang buwan. Mga kabansa. Almost 6 billion sa kalahating taon. Sumusulat lamang. Ito, nag-aanunsyo kayo. Sino ba nagbabayad ng manunulat at mga strolls at nagbabayad ng mga... Sino ba? The U.S. Congress passed America Competes Act early this year, providing for a $500 million budget to demonize China. Ayan, report ng American Prospect. Mga kabansa? Tingnan nyo ang flow. Tingnan nyo ang flow ng pera. Limpak-limpak na salapi. Kalahating bilyon para lamang demonyohin ang China. Nagsisimula yan sa American Competes Act. Ang agency niya, itong US Agency for Global Media. Tumutuloy yan sa Asian Maritime Transparency Initiative. Ito ho yung binanggit ni Tariela. Yung binanggit namin nung nakaraang linggo. Na Maritime Initiative. At yan ho napupunta sa CSIS, NED, UMIJAR, and other fronts, especially in the Philippines. No? Ano ang front ng UMIJAR sa Philippines? Mga kabansa, Rappler. Ano ang front ng National Endowment for Democracy in the Philippines? Vera Files. Yan pong Rappler and Vera Files, yan po ang fact-checker ng Facebook. Oh my God! Bakit ko nasabi yung nabis? Tutuloy kayo. Ha? CSIS. Sino ang front ng CSIS sa Pilipinas? Kundi Strat-based Albert de Rosario Institute. At creation din niya ang UP Institute of Maritime Affairs and the Laws of the Seas na pinamumunuan itong namatay na itong leader ng Strat-based ADRI, si Secretary Albert de Rosario, pero ang co-chairman niya dyan buhay pa. Sino yan? Si Manny Pangilinan. Dito naman sa UP Institute of Maritime Affairs, sino ito? Si J. Patumbakal. At sa mga patterns, mga kabansa, ng mga sinusulat at binobroadcast ng Philippine Coast Guard ngayon at National Security Agency, mukhang compromise na ho ang ating Coast Guard. In J. Tariela and our National Security Advisor's Office under Jonathan Malaya. At mga jukebox scholars na nagsusulat na kung ano-ano mga artikulo, opinion, column, opinion papers, think tank, position papers. At what rate? $1,000 per abstract. And finally, andyan na ang US-Philippine Alliance. Yan ho ang koneksyones, no? Saan ho dito involved si Mr. Carpio? Mr. Carpio, tanungin kita, magkano ang binudget ng Center for Strategic and International Studies para doon sa libro mo, yung book table mo, na may mga mapa-mapa ka explaining. And why are you always in the fora of Albert de Rosario Institute? Why were you in the arbitral tribunal together with your Vietnamese wife that was officially listed as one of the delegates? Sino nagbayad ng pasahe mo sa The Hague? Sino ba? Sino ba ang tumatanggap ng pera? Ano ang ano ang base ng sinasabi mo na paulit-ulit? Kayo ang paulit-ulit dito Rules-based, lagi nyo sinasabi yan. Bago namin kayo na fact-check, lagi nyo sinasabi, UN-based arbitral tribunal. UN recognized arbitral tribunal. My gosh, you were positioning it. Wala namang kinalaman yung arbitral tribunal na yan sa United Nations. In fact, Stephen Dujarric, the spokesperson of Ban Ki-moon, said, we have nothing to do with the arbitral ruling or the merits of anything discussed there. Bakit nyo inililing? Pati PCA, pinalabas nyo pa na korte. PCA is not a court, it's a registry of private arbitrations. Okay? Private voluntary arbitrations. So, huwag kayong ganyan. Huwag kayong mag-resort to dirty tactics. Yung mga sinasabi nyo dyan. Dito natin pagtuunan at hanapin natin kung bakit tayo ay napakahina dito sa issue ng South China Sea. Our weakness is our own doing. We have no basis in our internal law for the claims we are making in the South China Seas. Ulitin ko mga kabansa, wala tayong batas. In demarcating our territorial land and sea and defining the extent of our sovereignty, the 2009 Republic Act 95 the Philippine baselines, archipelagic baselines law, ignored the baselines drawn by the Presidential Decrees 1596 and 1599, thus excluding the Kalayaan Island Group. Sa mismong batas natin, sa mismong baselines natin, tayo ang nag-alis sa kine-claim ni Marcos. Pag siningil tayo ng United Nations, pag siningil tayo ng China tungkol dito, anong ipapakita niyong batas? Hindi niyo sinama sa 9522 ang Sabah. And you are relying on the West Philippine Sea extension from Kalayaan going north, which cannot be included because its basis is not sovereignty, but sovereignty rights. Not as territory, but EEZ. Besides, its creation is under a weak administrative order of the President, Order number 39 on September 5, 2012. Hindi ho batas yan. Today, it stands really as more of a slogan. There is no such thing as West Philippine Sea. It is not backed up by any Philippine law. There is no such thing as Kalayaan Island Group. Bakit? It was formerly backed up by two presidential decrees. But in PD, in Republic Act 95-22, inalis ninyo. If we accept the 2016 arbitral ruling, we lose the Kalayaan Island Group because in paragraph 575, yung pinagmamalaki mong Carpio na arbitral ruling, which is the end-all and be-all of all your arguments in this debate, said that on the basis of UNCLOS, the Philippines could not declare archipelagic baselines surrounding the Spratly Islands. So nasaan? Where is the victory? It is only a Pyrrhic victory. No? Hindi na natin ipi-play itong ibang videos for lack of time. But you have the habit of jumping to conclusions without qualifying legitimate premises. You invoke exclusivity as in exclusive economic zones in denial of conflicting claims. In general, you mix up sovereign rights for maritime entitlements in our EEZ against claims of other countries for sovereignty for territorial and territorial sea it generates. Alam po ninyo, sa EEZ, we do not own the EEZ. We only, UNCLOS only allows for our benefit the use of everything under the water, so we cannot own it. Specifically, you're claiming features within the Spratly Archipelago on the basis of only UNCLOS, and earlier you were demolishing historical rights by twisting history. Because most of the people listening to us will not bother check the wordings of what you were talking about. They will just relying on the fact that you are a former associate justice. China has demarcated as an entire archipelago or a single unit on the basis of historic rights a sovereign territory called the South China Seas. You also have the habit of ignoring real politics. That there, in the reality of the South China Seas, the Vietnamese are the major violators, the major poachers, as this satellite photo shows the presence of their fishing vessels. And our fishermen are not complaining about other countries, but our own military exercises. Pasok tayo dito sa concluding video natin on a Filipino fisherman.
dito. Kinabukasan habang bumabiyahe patungo sa Julian Felipe Reef, isang grupo na mamangingisda ang naabutan naming namamalakaya. Inimbitan sila ng kapitan ng BRP Malapascua sa barko at nakipagkwentuhan. Galing pa silang Bang Soprinyo sa Batangas at halos 3 linggo na nangingisda sa West Philippine Sea.
Okay naman po, wala po namang nanghahara sa amin. Bakit daw pumasok dito? Alam na mainit ang issue ng China at ng Wan. Sabi ko, bakit hindi naman kami kasali, sir? Nangingisda lang naman kami.
Bago umalis, nagbigay ang Philippine Coast Guard ng ilang pagkain para sa kanila na malugod naman nilang tinanggap. Ilang oras pa ang lumipas, nakarating din kami sa Julian.
Ang tanong ko lang, Justice Carpio, bakit si Mang Dionisio naiintindihan ang dynamics sa South China Sea? Pero ikaw hindi. At this juncture, wala na tayong oras. Pupunta tayo sa mga comments kung meron mang nagpadala sa araw na ito at basahin natin bilang partisipasyon ng ating audience. Good afternoon. Watching from Bacolod City, Lynn Sarko. Jinky Bill, hi po. Watching from Germany, Joselito Arguelles. Gandang hapon. Lumawig pa po ang program ninyo. Nagpapaliwanag ng isyu nasyonal para po lason, pilit, sinusubo sa bandang Pilipino ng mga amboys, traitor ka, pag di ka naniniwala sa kanilang paliwanag. Baka naman po di nabasa ng buo ni Justice Carpio ang South China Sea history, di po gaya ng ibang retired justice binasa South China Sea, tapos yung arbitral award di binasa ng buo ni Carpio. Tanong lang po, di kaya nang umukupa ang Kalayaan Island o Pag-asa Island si Presidente Marcos ay may bangayan kung mangyayari ngayon sa pagitan ng China at Pilipinas, makakahabol po kaya ang EEZ. Ewan ko po kung anong pinagmamalaki nila sa Pag-asa Island. Ang Pag-asa Island po ay located more than 200 nautical miles from our coastal shores in Palawan. Hanggang 200 nautical miles lang po ang exclusive economic zone. Kaya nung burahin ng arbitral ruling, yung polygon ni Marcos, ang ibig sabihin nun, nanganganib na ang Pag-asa Island. Tapos dineklara nyo pang persona non grata dyan si Ambassador Wang Siliang. Hindi ko na malaman kung sinong pupunta para sa inyong sokoro. Rilo Reyes, ingat po, bangado, baka bagaya kayo kay Jason sa grabe na po nangyayari sa administrasyon ni Budelman. Tayo po ay hindi natatakot dahil katotohanan at ang katotohanan ay Diyos na ating sanggalang. Dennis Dumalawan, watching from UK, Cardiff, mga maestro. Andres Teves, good to listen to historical geopolitics. Misty Violet, good morning po morning sa inyo Ingat po kayo palagi, nilakamentong at kana full support sa inyong mga paliwanag. Love from Great Britain, Orly Dakuyanan. Good morning po kaadot, baka kailangan ipamukha dyan kay Karpa para matauhan. Marami din mga Pinoy na lalalason. Reynaldo Lazaro, kaado, isunod niyo po ang iyong kay Attorney Henry Bersuto at Christian Esguera. Totoo po yan dahil itong si Henry Bersuto, mga kabansa, ang pinapanginoon nilang hero for the arbitral victory. Hindi ko naman malaman kung ano yan. Kami po ni Henry Bersuto ay nag-abot sa Amerika dahil siya po ay na-assign din sa embassy sa Washington, D.C. No? Pero ang kanyang role dito mula nung intriguin niya si Albert Encomienda at siya na nag-take over dito sa issue ng mga laws of the seas ay para sa sarili lamang niya. At ngayon, siya pa ngayon, yung nahapyawan ko yun Pero sige, titingnan natin kung mahihimay natin ang mga kasinungalingan na pinagsasabi ni Bern Surto na alam naman natin kung ano ang tunay niyang kulay. Meron pa ba tayo? Wala na? Okay. Wala na po pala. Wala nang oras pa. So, maraming salamat sa inyong pagtangkilik mga kabansa sa inyong panunood at sumulat lamang kayo sa Adolfo Paglinawan at yahoo.com kung meron kayong mga komento. At tandaan ninyo mga kabansa, no? Huwag kayong mamamasyal sa kasaysayan dahil ang kasaysayan po ay nakalimbag sa maraming libro at sources ng kaalaman, lalo na ngayon, meron ng internet, hindi na po pwedeng bulahin ang sambayanang Pilipino. Thank you and goodbye.